All right, welcome to our summer school session. We have a whole hour. I don't know if it's going to take the whole hour, but hopefully it'll be short, especially for those summer school sites. We hope to get you guys out of here in half an hour or less, and then we'll just wrap up some things with our summer school TSS as well. Okay, so first of all, you guys are in our new go-to system. Hopefully, it's a good experience. We're still playing around with it, learning how to use it. So hopefully, there's not too many hiccups with this system. But give it a try. I know Andy and Amanda are looking for uh, writing some instruction material, and any feedback we can give them will also help them as well. All right, moving forward. So what we're going to do today, first we're going to start with some collection reminders from Lori and Haley. After that, we're going to move into summer school sites and kind of dissect that. And then we'll wrap up with the summer school TSS and kind of go over some things they need to know. So starting with the Lori and Haley,
Hello, can you hear me?
we can.
Yay. Okay, so just a couple of slides from us. We just wanted to give you a little heads up on our technology device pilot. There are 4 campuses participating in this pilot, and that's Brennan, Clark, Stevenson, and Vail. And so students from these campuses will be keeping their devices over the summer, which means Um, if it's a junior high, if it's middle, then 6th and 7th graders will be keeping their devices over the summer. 8th grade will be collecting. And then if it's a high school, 9th, 10th, and 11th grades will be keeping it over the summer. And then, of course, seniors will be turning them in. So just a heads up on that. If they come to you with a broken device, please swap it out like normal in Node and FAM. You may have students who are participating in the pilot at summer school. They do not need an additional device. So if they come to you, 'cause, you're going to have carts available, they do not get an extra one. And it's going to be indicated with a sticker. So they'll use their device from their home campus. These devices, just as mentioned, will have a sticker located on them. You might receive calls from the student hotline team to assist with collecting devices if a student withdraws over the summer. So I really think there's only about 4 of you who would be kind of dealing if any issues arise. That would be, I think, Maddie, of course, Orly. I'm not sure who's covering Brennan. I think Aaron, right? And then Lauren, I believe. So um, if you have any questions, I'll touch base with you as well. So just a heads up, the stickers look like that on the bottom of the screen. Thank you. And then we also have a wallpaper that's going to be pushed out that looks like the left picture there. And it just says that this device is a pilot device. Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much the info I need to share. We'll
All
move on
right,
to
can we
vendor
hear me?
support.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so as far as vendor support goes, switching gears a little bit from the technology device pilot, and thank you, Lori, for sharing that on the information about the technology device pilot. If you notice weird things that are happening on your campuses during summer school with that technology device pilot, please reach out to Lori and I, and we'll be able to get you guys going. Myself, Lori, and Andy, we've been working on that for a little bit now. So again, if something weird happens, definitely reach out to us. But switching gears from that to the vendor support. So this affects all high school TSS. So if you're a high school TSS, make sure you pay attention right now. So you'll be getting vendor support on June 5th and June 6th. Please plan for this support and determine what tasks that the vendor will be able to help you with. If you're a new TSS, if you didn't know, vendors will not have access to FAM, which is good and bad. It just means that they can help you with other tasks other than FAM and collecting devices. So we'll share this with you in the weekly here this week, but some of the things that they can help you with are building those Chromebook carts for the summer, right? They can help you search on asset tags if the device doesn't have a tag number on it. They can help you check Chromebooks for damage. all the things that are listed in there. Of course, you'll be able to utilize that. So please plan accordingly. Please do not just let them sit there. We're paying for them, so use them to your advantage and make sure that they're not just sitting there not doing anything. In addition, of course, since they won't have FAM, this will be great for you to utilize. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to your manager. But high school, please plan for that vendor support on June 5th and June 6th. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you. Do any of the high school TSS, do you guys have questions over that? It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, okay. All right, let's move forward. All right, if you can, go to nisd.tech/summer. This is going to take you to the summer school website. And we're all clicking it at the same time, so of course things are going to run slow. So you have your summer school website here, which has pretty much all the information you guys are going to need for summer school. We're going to be jumping around and going back and forth to the site throughout the presentation today. So just make sure you have it available, and then watch where we're clicking to make sure you know how to get there to certain pieces of information. Okay. Does everybody have that? I think we can add it to the chat too. Let's see. So it's there, it's pinned. Amanda tried adding it, but she sent it to message directly to me instead. But we're good. All right. So like I said, we're going to come back to this and we'll go through this. First of all, if you guys have a program, if you remember in the TSS Weekly, we had a thing about updating your website to have relevant and good content throughout the summer. So that was one aspect. To piggyback off of that, if you have a program at your campus, we're asking that you go ahead and add that program as an announcement, and then also add the summer school catalog as an announcement as well. Now, the reason we tell you that is when we go to here and you go to program information, again, you've got the list that you guys have seen, that dashboard that will have all the programs. But down below, you also have a catalog for summer school in English and in Spanish. So if you need to link something for your family and staff to use, they can go ahead and look at these as well. The PDFs or the images, these are going to Google Drive files. If you go to the links below, these will actually go to our FlipSnack, which is publicly shared. So if you need to make something to share with your staff and on your website, use this that link to go ahead and get the FlipSnack, and that way parents can sign up. We're really trying to push to have all this done soon. I think most of the deadlines finish up either this week or next week. So this is one of those things you can add it quickly, but then the parents and whoever needs to can also see when the dates are and stuff. So keep it up during the program as well. Okay. So if you have programs, make them as an announcement, add the summer school catalog as an announcement as well, and you will be good. Next, we have that summer school dash. So if you need to get to just the dash instead of the whole website, you can still use that shortened URL, nisd.tech/ss-dash. And we'll get that into the chat as well. All right. Again, looking at that dashboard, any of these programs that you see that are not grayed out, they do have a requirement for technology. The technology requirement is listed here on the technology column. And then over here, black squares are days of class or instruction. And then everything else is kind of, the color's been taken away. So like Fridays are off, so on and so forth. So if you need to know when a program's running, you can do that. You can also use the tabs to look at campuses by program or programs by elementary, programs by middle, programs by high school. Again, all of them are in bold. So the tech required ones are in bold, and you can go ahead and keep that going. All right. Questions? Thumbs up if you're good. All right. You guys are awesome. I like how we're doing it multimodal. Some are doing it through the reactions. Some of y'all are just showing the camera. I love it. All right, let's move on to Chromebook one-to-one. We have two programs that are one-to-one for sure, and that's going to be your middle school math summer bridge and then high school credit advancement. That doesn't mean that that's the only kids you're going to see that are allowed to have one-to-one. In fact, we have high school Air Force junior ROTC that are going to a conference out in West Texas somewhere, and they've been given permission to use their Chromebooks. It's not a summer school program, but they will be allowed to use it. And so we actually have something that I'll show you in a minute that will show those exceptions and where you can find a list of those exceptions. But the middle school math summer bridge kids will be on there. The high school credit advancement kids will be on there. So it'll be a big spreadsheet that you're going to have to be able to filter out to show which kids on your campus are allowed to keep their Chromebooks. Other exceptions we may see is going to be like homebound students, things of that sort. But they're on the summer school website. Well, we'll just show you that. There is a one-to-one exceptions page here, and we haven't finished it, but you'll be able to click this block. There'll be a form for teachers to fill out if they have a valid reason. We will get somebody to confirm that it's a valid reason, and then once they are confirmed, the student's name will show up on the list right next to the form. Okay, so it'll all be there. Okay, Chromebook class sets. You guys need to make sure your class sets are prepped and ready. These Chromebooks need to be cleaned and updated before you go assign them to a class set. So that's going to be, the Chromebook needs to be on version 124 or higher, which was just released. And again, wiped down and ready to be used. You don't need to wipe like a power wash or anything unless there's a problem with the Chromebook, and then you'll troubleshoot and power wash that way. But when we say just cleaned and updated, we're just talking physically cleaned, okay? Your class sets, we do prefer them to be in carts. However, I also know that at the secondary level, during summer school, you may not have enough carts, okay? So if that's the case, we do want you can do classrooms. Just make sure you have enough power bricks, enough extension cords and stuff, so that those devices can be charged and used throughout the day. Okay. Questions over that? Nope. All right.
Yes, I
have a
have one
question.
question.
Okay.
How will we know how many students are in each class?
That is a question for you to ask your coordinator. I mean, again,
Very
I
good
think
then.
this is it's a common issue we've had every year is we don't know how many kids we have until usually the day of, right? So we say over prepare, you know, expect the worst or prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? So if you make carts
All
of
right, sounds
30, you'll be set, you know. Um, Somebody else have a question?
Yeah, I do, Marie.
Okay.
Are you wanting iPads in carts? Are you expecting me to unwire all my Chromebook carts and turn them into iPad carts?
Well, we're just talking Chromebooks right now.
Okay,
Okay.
just
But
asking.
but Marie, thank you for the transition. iPads are in class sets too for those kinder and first grade kids too. Now remember we did say carts are the ideal, but I'm I'm not going to say go unwire a cart and wire it up for iPads, but maybe this is where you utilize those Joey cabinets a little more. You need to have them set up in sets for the teachers to use one way or another. Okay. Lynette, can I go through iPads, or do you need to ask your question now?
It's just a quick question. We're listed on coordinators. My
Mm-hmm.
campus isn't even listed for summer school.
We'll get it fixed.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk iPads. We do not want you guys using iPad 6s for summer school. The vendor's going to be there to pick it up, I think, right about the time you guys are going off contract. Some of y'all will be on contract when the vendor starts those pickups. But summer school is not ended, so we need to have all those 6s boxed up and set aside for the vendor for pickup already. We've already confirmed with George that according to your current inventory levels, your campus should have enough iPads for summer school without using those 6s. All right. Now, if that's not the case, please contact me or Amanda, and we'll work with George and your manager to make sure that you guys have enough for summer school. But yeah, when we ran the numbers, everybody should be good. Okay. Your iPads need to be cleaned and wiped, like erased or restored, and blueprinted by June 10th, end of day. The reason is all those programs at elementary levels start on June 11th, first thing in the morning, and we want to make sure those iPads are ready to go. Okay. Rose is already planning to wipe all the elementary iPads on June 7th, so the day after the last day of school. But if you want, you can actually request your iPads to get wiped earlier. And you can do that by going to nisd.tech/remote wipes. Let's see if I can open that fast enough. Here, you basically fill it in that you're ready to have those devices wiped, and she will send the command. And as long as they're connected to the network and have Wi-Fi, they should remote wipe, and then you're ready to blueprint. Okay. Back to here. If you need a hub for getting your iPads ready, because it's a quick turnaround, you can use nisd.tech/iPad hub checkout, and that will take you again to another form. You request the hub, and Rosemary will check it out. I think it's for 5 days. Right now, summer school campuses are going to have the priority to get those iPads turned around very quickly. Remember, they're the new hubs. It takes minutes instead of hours. Yeah. Rose, do you have anything to add to that? Am I missing anything? Nope.
No, I think you said it all.
Perfect. Cool. All right. Moving on then.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we have to create a work order to transfer them back to our campuses, or is it already transferred? Set.
They
Like the
should be
mail.
at your site.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Are you talking the hub or the iPads?
No, when we blueprint the iPads.
The iPads should already be set up for your site. And we're not moving iPads around. So if they're not set up properly, like they say somebody else's name right now, put a work order in now, and Rose can get those properly configured so that they have the right campus name, especially for summer school. Okay. All right. Moving on to cart sheets. We do want.
We might have another question. I think Mark G has his hand up.
Oh, Mark, go for it.
Yeah, quick question. Are the hubs faster than the sync carts?
Much
Oh,
faster. Like we're talking 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how many you plug in, to get them right. Right, Rose? I'm like, I don't. You
Yep,
look like
yep.
you grimaced.
Yeah, so we were able to purchase like the Cadillac of the equipment that we've used. And so some of those sync carts are already you know, they're well up there in age, and with the pandemic and all of that, like it's added a lot of wear and tear to those sync carts. So I would definitely recommend using the hub if you're a summer school site.
Yeah,
Okay.
when you talk data, I mean the sync carts are USB 2, and the hubs that we're using now are doing USB 3 and Thunderbolt speeds, so things just run faster.
All
Okay.
right. Good to know.
Yeah. All right. Amanda, am I good? Okay. All right, moving on to the cart sheets. So, like last year, we had all high school or all levels fill out the cart sheet to document your class sets. Okay. If you're using the cart, or even if you're not using the cart, you have to use the cart sheet. But if you're using carts, we want you to label them. So if you're putting 20 iPads into this cart, call it iPad Cart 1 or something cute if that's what you want to do for your campus. But make sure you're labeling your carts. We also want you to print a tag list for each cart. So after you've scanned the tags into the cart sheet, I'll show you guys how to print just that selection real quick. But print it out, stick it on the cart so that way people know what devices are in there, how many devices are in there, and that way, especially at elementary level, when it's time to turn the devices in, the summer school admin and teachers have a good frame of reference of what should be in there. Okay. Elementary and middle school TSS, we want you to share this cart sheet with your summer school admin. If you show them where to go to the summer school site to find it, they should be good. But I know Miranda's also working on a nice letter that will explain those critical pieces like this. So let's show you the cart sheet. On the summer school website, there's a tab or a button for carts. And elementary, they show up here already, but I'm going to just click this little button up here to jump out. It opens in a new tab. I can click the links here to go to a specific campus, or I can use the tabs down at the bottom. But for our sake, Brown Station, it's the same sheet you guys used last year. Basically, you've got 2 columns for a cart. So you give it a cart name or a cart number, what location. So if you know which room it's going to, fill those out, and then choose what type of devices are in there. So if we say Chromebooks, and it's cart 1, and it's in A245, and you're set here, and then we can just start scanning in the tags, okay? Once you have that done and you've got them in there, if you select those columns there, you can go to print, selected cells, and while it's not the prettiest, it will scan what you've selected, okay? Or it'll print what you selected. Now notice this, man, this goes forever. There's 1,000 rows here because that's what I chose. Don't choose that total devices. Don't make the mistake Eric makes, because he makes them a lot. Select just the tags, or cart 1, A245, like that. And now change the print to selected cells, and now it's only 2 pages. Okay? Y'all see that? Questions? Pretty cool. Work out some way for your teachers to mark things like, because what we've got, escape out of that. You can say it's assigned to cart, but if a teacher highlights it, maybe that means it's broken. That way we can make tickets, right? And then at the end of the year, or at the end of summer school, those teachers can also come in here, or admin can come in here and say it's assigned to missing or returned. Okay? Questions over the cart sheet? I see one hand raised. Maddie?
Yes. So are these carts going to be built before the summer TSS comes on board, or are we going to build them as the first day
These
we get there?
We're still in the summer school sites, so this should all be done before the summer school TSS come on.
Okay.
Okay. because summer school starts on June 10th, and you're on contract till June 18th, right?
Correct.
So that's why we want like the iPads wiped and ready before or by June 10th, is so that they're ready to go on June 11th when school starts.
And are we still doing work orders for these broken devices? Like when a teacher were to tag that and we're still on contract for the summer TSS, are we
So
still doing work orders
if
for
the
that?
other TSS is already prepared properly, there should, like, let's say it's a class of 20 kids and there's
Hmm.
20 or 30 Chromebooks in there, they should be able to keep things going. Now, as a summer school TSS, we'll talk about that part after, but for
Okay.
right now, we just want to get the devices prepped, right?
Okay.
Okay. Any questions over building the cart sheets? No? Okay. All right. There are some summer school flyers that we would like you to print and give to your summer school teachers before you guys leave on June 18th. Okay. This doesn't matter what level you're at. If you want to go with fancy color ones, you can go ahead and click this. It goes to our website that you guys have already seen, but it works through a lot of the problems. We want to teach our teachers how to solve the problems instead of relying on ATSS to be there. And so we want them to have access to that. Yes, color is expensive. So that's why we give you both. And then you've got the black and white printable flyer too. Okay. If you like all the designs, you can thank Amanda. She worked very hard on all the stuff, making sure they matched. Sandy just won't be happy that we've done everything already, so she'll make her own. But we'll move forward. Any questions over the flyer? Share it with your teachers. Letty, deadline to have the cart sheets complete, hopefully before your students start class. So I would say, again, June 10th, end of day would be the ideal. Sandy, if it's a problem, you could also print them 4 up and then cut them out, and then it'll be less. And I'm going to ignore the chat. I'll let Amanda manage the chat so I stop making comments. All right. So if you're a summer school site, while you're on site, please troubleshoot and provide troubleshooting for those devices, which means if you have to swap a device, swap it out. But when you swap, make sure you mark it on the cart sheet, right? You'll still follow regular procedures. In repair is going to stay on throughout the summer. So if you want to keep using the in repair thing, you can. But after collection, tickets will still need to be made. All right. So you can still mark a device in repair, but a ticket needs to be made. Make sense? Yes. Okay. If you can't fix it again, or teacher can't figure it out, contact help desk. They can make that. And then just make sure you have like an end of summer school to-do list for the teachers, whether that's your disconnects and things like that. We just want to make sure that, when summer school's done, they know what they need to do to complete and have the classroom ready for the next session. Okay. Talking disconnects. Talk to your campus admin and make sure you know which rooms are going to be used for summer school, and please make sure they don't get disconnected, right? So teacher's last day is June 7th. You don't want all your teachers to disconnect everything and then you're having to run around on June 10th or 11th trying to get everything up and running. Okay, so don't disconnect those rooms if they're being used. Make sure the tech's working in those classrooms. So maybe those teachers that if you would normally sign off for disconnects, maybe you do a tech check just to make sure everything's up and running in that room. Okay. Questions over that? Going once, twice. All right. There's a device check-in form as well. This is for elementary to use, possibly your middle school. Your admin and teachers, I would encourage them to work together to collect devices using that form. Basically, this is for use when the TSS is not available to check things into FAM, okay? So elementary doesn't have a TSS after you guys leave on June 18th. So that means all your summer school admin and teachers need to know where this stuff is and can help themselves out at the elementary level. At middle school, the TSS are rotating, which means sometimes there's a TSS there, sometimes there's not. And so if they need to check things in when there's not a TSS, they'll need to know how to use that collection form. Yeah. So to find that, again, summer school site, collecting devices, and we have a nice brochure that you can give to the teachers as well, that goes over things that need to be collected, making sure stickers are there, making sure that the teachers help you with that collection piece. And then there's the form here that, again, I would make that jump out, and you'll need to fill this out for every device that's turned in, okay? Questions on that? Nope. Okay. You guys are easy. I like it. All right. That's it for summer school sites. So again, are there any questions regarding the sites portion? No?
Me,
Marie,
hello.
I said,
You said for repair devices that need repair while we're
mhm.
on site before June 18th, we put it in repair and FAM, but we still do a work order?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's changing is next year, our goal is to keep the in repair status in, because what we notice is you guys this year say you've got 0 devices available, and when you request more or whatever, the PMs look at it and say, "No, you've got 14 available." So we're turning on in repair to keep those numbers accurate. But
Okay.
we only don't we do not require a ticket to be made only during the collection window when you guys are busy doing other things. When summer school starts back up, there will be the requirement of tickets to be made. But you can still use that in repair to accurately reflect your inventory levels. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, that's good. And then I was not really following the check-in form. I'm not quite clear on that.
So your campus admin or your summer school admin are going to be there to collect the devices, right? So where is it? This can be used for students turning in devices, right? So at elementary, there shouldn't be any one-to-ones except for homebound students. But do you really think you're going to get all your devices back if you're a campus that has checked out devices and let them go home with your students all school year? Because there are those campuses, even at elementaries, that still do that. Well, probably not. So the nasty notes go out. Mom and dad return it in the middle of the summer during summer school. This is where you'll still fill this in so that we collect it and get it marked in FAM if there's not a TSS on site.
Oh, so these are not for the summer school devices. These are for
No,
devices that get returned. Okay,
yeah,
and that's fine.
you collect
I
the
don't let
device
my
from a
devices
student.
go home. Yeah, I don't let my
Yeah,
devices go home from my schools.
yeah. So it's a necessary evil for some people, but for everybody else, they're going to be using the carts. And like when you've got your stuff, right? As long as this cart is filled, they'll come back here and just be like, everything's here, and we'll do it from there. Okay. So they'll live and die by the carts, but this is for those one-to-one students and students that kept their device. Make sense? I
Yes,
see
it
a
does.
thumbs up.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Other questions? All
Hey,
right.
Eric.
Yeah.
Uh, Sorry if this question's kind of redundant, but you said the deadline to fill out the cart sheet is June 10th, which is the first day of summer school. Is that for every campus? June 10th is the first day of summer school?
No. So remember, if you go by this guy here, program information, we want it done before summer school starts, before you're moving the carts around. So
Okay.
yeah, June 10th is not summer school for a lot of them, right?
Oh,
June 11th is actually the start date. So we're saying end of day June 10th.
okay.
Now I know a lot of campuses, a lot of TSS, when they're doing their collection, will collect right into a cart, get 30 devices in there, and then they'll go do the list later, right? So
Okay.
how you approach your collection can make life a little easier too.
Okay. So either way, the summer school carts have to be ready, have to be done by the end of June 10th, correct?
At the elementary and middle levels, that looks to be correct. Yeah.
Got it.
At high
Okay. Thank you.
school, it looks like high school credit retrieval, acceleration, ESL, those are a little later, but they also have like accelerated instruction starting earlier for them. So short answer, yeah. Shoot for June 10th, you'll be safe.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. All right.
Uh,
Anything else?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
For the summer school carts on that list, when I click on Vernon, it just, for me, I don't know if I have access. It just keeps opening up a new page with the list, with a list of schools over and over again when I click on it. It might just be me not having access.
That happened to me too.
So for me, it went to Mernon.
Yeah, for me, it doesn't do that. It just keeps opening up that whole list of all the schools over and over and over and over and over again.
Thank you. I will get y'all edit access. That's a
I had
Eric
to go to
profile.
the bottom tabs.
Right,
Okay.
but I don't think. Oh no, you guys are editors. Okay, you should be good.
So like when I click on the link, it just keeps opening up a new page with all of the campuses. And I did it just 10 times. I just opened up 10 pages with just the list of campuses. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
Yeah, I had to
okay.
go to the bottom tabs.
So again, remember when you're looking at that card sheet, I said first thing to do is click that little jump out button and then click your link. Does that make sense? Maybe. And so now I'm at Carson. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
it
clicking
Hey,
the
Andy, I got a,
website
that one step. There
doesn't.
was that one step I was missing.
Yeah, that little jump out button. And yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, click it again. Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm going to change it so that's not a issue. So you probably won't get the preview anymore. It'll just go straight to the website or to the sheet instead. Does that make sense? So that way it won't be an issue for you guys. Okay, thank you.
hey,
Other
Andy,
questions?
I had a real quick question on when we're filling out the card sheet. Do we need to do anything to those devices in FAM? I might have just missed it. Do we need to put them as in use, or do we just leave them available in whatever room they're already in FAM?
I mean, if you're asking me what you should do, I would say do it in FAM, but that's not
Okay.
the ask this year.
Okay.
Time is short. So
No,
where
I get
where
it.
can we help you? That's why we're going for this sheet that should be a lot faster to fill out.
No, yeah, got it. Perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome. Other questions? All right. If you are not a summer school TSS working off contract, you are free to go.